So if you're in a market for a brand new laptop that won't break the bank while also giving you top-notch performance, I think this Asus Vivobook 16 with the AMD AI 5340 might be the laptop you should look into next. For less than $1,000, this laptop packs a ton of features, so huge shout out to Asus for sending this over and sponsoring this showcase video. And so without rambling on too much, let's talk specs real quick. The Asus Vivobook 16 that I have in the studio comes with the all-new AMD AI 5340 processor, which is one of their newest entry-level chip from AMD that packs a 6-core CPU with 12 threads and the AMD Radeon 840M graphics card. Besides that, we have 16 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of SSD as standard. It also comes with a ton of ports, like 2 USB-A 3.2 Gen 1, 2 USB-C ports which supports power delivery, but you're also getting an HDMI 2.1 port and a 3.5mm combo audio jack. Now, the display on here is a 16-inch 1920 by 1200 IPS display with a 60Hz refresh rate and a 16 by 10 aspect ratio. Now, it does have rather slim bezels on the sides, but the top of the display has a little bit more bezels to make room for the full HD camera with IR, which does support both Windows Studio Effects and Windows Hello. And you can even toggle the camera off by sliding this cover here. Now, this isn't the most modern looking laptop display, obviously, but we gotta remember, this is a sub $1,000 laptop that packs the newest processor from AMD. Now, in terms of its design, I'm not gonna lie, this laptop isn't the sleekest or most modern looking design laptop from Asus, but it's still a decent looking laptop that's rather thin and only weighs a tad bit over 4 pounds for a 16-inch laptop. Now, when it comes to the keyboard and the trackpad, the keyboard itself features a full-size keyboard with a mini numpad on the right side, which apparently a lot of Windows laptop users love. I'm personally not a fan of it just because the main keyboard is shifted a little bit to the left. But speaking of that trackpad, it's a pretty decent sized trackpad for a 16-inch laptop that features gestures, meaning that you can adjust the brightness of your laptop and your volume all by swiping on the trackpad itself, which is pretty neat. Now, probably my favorite part about this laptop is the fact that you're able to open the laptop with just one finger and also have the display lay flat thanks to that 180-degree hinge. And then when it comes to its speakers, typically Windows laptops have mediocre speakers for whatever reason, and I don't know what it is about Asus laptops recently, but they seem to have it down when it comes to speakers. Now, this Vivobook 16 won't be able to compare with the more expensive Asus laptops like the Zephyrus G14 or Zephyrus G16, but the speakers can get very loud and has enough bass to separate the high ends and low ends, which is awesome to hear on a more budget-friendly laptop.
Guess you're still waiting for me to say sorry. But I won't, 'cause it says a lot about you, but not about me. And there is no use in pretending we're healthy. I'll do anything for you.
Okay, so when it comes to performance, this is of course running AMD's newest entry-level processor, the AMD AI 5340. Now, I've tested a few of the higher-end AI chips from AMD recently, and they're really impressive, but those laptops are also a lot more expensive than this one. At least with this processor, we're still getting a 6-core CPU with 12 threads. We're getting an iGPU that's pretty decent, and I'll show off some gameplay in a little bit. And the thing about this processor is that we're still getting up to 50 TOPS to power all the necessary AI tools available on Windows. Now, take a look at the single core performance of this laptop. It's pretty much in line with the more expensive AI9 chip and Intel's 185H chip. It's only in multi-core performance where you'll really notice the more expensive chips take the lead in terms of benchmarks and its performance. But in terms of day-to-day usage, this laptop is more than capable to handle most of my tasks, which are writing emails, writing scripts, photo editing in Lightroom, and watching YouTube or Netflix. Now, when it comes to games, since we're a little bit limited here on the space with the 512 gigs of SSD, I went ahead and installed the updated GTA 5 Enhanced and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2, which are usually my go-to games that won't take up too much space on my SSD, but also won't take up too much time to set up. Now, both of these games ran pretty well so long as you're playing with some sort of upscaling tech like AMD's FSR. At 1200p, low to medium settings, you can get both of these games to run between 45 to 60 frames per second, which isn't terrible for an entry-level laptop that costs less than $1,000. Now, the Vivobook isn't really meant to be a gaming laptop, but I just wanted to see and test out a few of the games that I usually play on my Ally X, and also get an idea of what this laptop's capable of and who it's for. So just set your expectations here if you want a game on this laptop. Now, if you really do want a gaming laptop though, you'll probably have to shell out $300 to $500 more, but you'll most likely get one that's a lot more bulky and ones with a slightly older processor from, a couple of years ago, but with a dedicated graphics card. All right, now one thing I really like about the Vivobook series though is the fact that you can get a charger like this one, this 65-watt USB-C charger from Ugreen or Anker, that's this tiny, and it'll be able to power this laptop at full speed, which is awesome for travel. Now the Asus Vivobook comes in quite a few different flavors. This video is all about the Vivobook 16 with the AMD AI 5 processor, but it's also available with a higher spec AMD chip like the AI 7 350, and that'll give you a bit more cores, better graphics performance so you can game at higher frame rates. Now, the one with the AI 7 350 will still be under $1,000, which is great. Now, you can also spec the Vivobook 16 with a Snapdragon X processor, which will give you a big screen laptop with pretty good performance and incredible battery life up to 27 hours. And that version actually costs a little bit less than this version that I have. Now, if you want something even more affordable and even more portable, then Asus also has the Vivobook 14 that's also available with the Snapdragon X processor, which does have quite a few perks, but it's not necessarily great for gaming, or it's meant for gaming. It's all about giving you enough power to get work done, but also giving you the best battery life on a Vivobook series laptop. And yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know about the Asus Vivobook 16 and the Vivobook 14. If you're in a budget and you're looking for a new laptop and you're looking to try out some of the newest chips from AMD or even Qualcomm, the Vivobook series is a pretty good start if you don't want to spend too much money on a brand new laptop. At least with this one, you're getting a 16-inch display, a ton of ports, really good keyboard, pretty good sounding speakers, and you can even play some AAA titles, albeit on lower graphics settings. The fact that the AI 5 chip is almost on par with the more expensive AMD or Intel chips in terms of single core performance speaks volume. If you're not looking to edit heavy 4K videos or high resolution photos and you just need a laptop to watch videos on, get some office work done, do some light photo or 1080p video editing, or even some light gaming, this laptop might just be the move. So what about you guys? Would you pick this up for you or your kids? Let me know in the comments down below, and yeah, I'll see you all in the next one.